you guys doing?
Good. Okay, let me go see one side. Cool.
Hey, what side is the good side, Jake?
Y'all good?
Good side.
No, it's 'cause I got a fucked up thing.
So what's up, Footy Fans? I appreciate you guys coming through. This is your host, the creator, CEO, all the titles, Hugh Roberts. Founded Backyard Footy 3 years ago. This is my 3rd year here with the Independents, 8th year pro. Here with the Charlotte Independents pro players. Before we dive into my whole timeline for you guys, introduction for these guys, I have a little contest giveaway for you guys. Trivia question. Nate probably knows this already, but
Straight out of Mike.
I will say.
what was the total number of goals scored, including playoffs, last season? Closest number of wins to shirt. I'll give you a sec. Total number of goals scored. And remember, it was a COVID season last season, so we only played 16 games. Playoffs makes it 17.
38.
25.
Alright.
22.
Nah, it gotta be more. Dane scored 12 goals.
Okay.
You didn't score that much.
Yeah, man.
29. Say 35.
35.
Hey, man. You were very
Correct.
Hey, man.
Correct answer is 24. So,
Oh.
round of applause.
Hey, gave you that.
Yeah.
Hey, said.
I heard that whistle.
Hey, say
Sign shirt.
24.
Oh,
All
thank
those players,
you.
of course.
Oh,
Appreciate it. Hey, Mike, you want to get a pic of us?
You want me to hold it up?
Yeah. Okay. Krista, you want to get this thing? Appreciate you.
I wasn't
So I wanted to give you guys a quick timeline of how Backyard Footy got started 3 years ago. Today's the 3rd year anniversary. Wanted to do something a little special, a little different. So I have a PowerPoint presentation for you guys. So back then, it started in Pittsburgh for me, 2018. That was my fifth year in the league. Really just started on my couch though. What I used to do was just interview players. We're on the east side, the East Coast, so I knew about one or a couple guys on each team. Whenever they came in town to Pittsburgh, I would just get guys to come in. Like these are guys from Louisville, guys from Nashville. Bottom left corner is my very first episode. A couple guys from Pittsburgh. Left corner is a couple veteran guys from Pittsburgh as well. And in the middle right there is a good friend of mine from the Richmond Kickers. But I also did giveaways I just did now as well too. But kind of just originated just on my couch. Me thinking of, I was watching ESPN in 2018, we all watch ESPN, and I'm literally just watching these guys talk about every single sport. I've seen cornhole on ESPN, I've seen frisbee, I've seen everything but not soccer, so I'm just like, why isn't soccer on the main national scene? So that's what kind of got me into it, the podcast at first, then it kind of dove into charity, philanthropic movement now, and now it's a whole brand within itself with some clothing and everything too, so. So then from there, that winter, I traveled out to Germany. This guy in the middle used to play for 2nd Division in Germany, plays for FC Cincinnati now, Joe Zhao. But I went out there, interviewed him, got a whole experience out in Germany. Top left and top right, actually all these pictures on the side. I had an episode called The Cookout in DC, a couple of my friends from college, a couple of ex-pros and stuff, just talking about, the journeys, life after soccer, sharing more insight into the game. So then from there, 2019, I came here to Charlotte, met Mike right here, the videographer. Came through a couple practices now, got more guests. A couple of these guys down here played for Manchester City, Zion played for Schalke, and then I also did some footage of what it's like for us during practices. Right here in the top right corner, that's playing and still lagging because of their projection, not mine. But yeah. Top right corner is us, what we do every day in practice, kind of thing on the field. But yeah, just showing more visuals into soccer. A lot of people don't see what we do on a daily basis and stuff. They don't even show the MLS like that either. So for me to highlight what we do on and off the field is important. And then in the middle right there is what we do in the off season, training at the indoor facility. bottom left corner is us going to the Exos gym twice a week. We go now at 7 o'clock in the morning. But, you know, again, giving more insights to us at the gym, us working out in the off seasons, what we do. It's important people understand kind of what we go through as well as a pro. So then in last year before COVID, it was a big goal of mine, kind of, you know, branch out now from my couch. Got a videographer, reached out to ESPN 730 here in Charlotte, interviewed some teammates. You guys see some guys here, Enzo, Brandon, a couple of Clay, another teammate, but I was able to partner with ESPN 730, where now I'm recording my shows using their studios every time. I also did a juggling contest in the middle, as you see. I do some contests and things like that, just keep fans engaged. But over there on the left, the president of the whole USL, Jake Edwards, had him on my show, the interview as well. All the links are on social media. I'm on iTunes as well, every platform as well too. But kind of give you guys more insight to just podcast within itself. So then last year with the whole movement, me and my man right here, after a couple episodes, we founded Black Players Alliance. You know, based off a couple episodes down here. These are all on YouTube as well. There's no sound here, so you really can't hear it like that. But I got about 15 players total, some from the MLS, some from the USL. Got us all together here, talk about what it's like being black playing soccer here in this country. Long story short, based off, I had 2 episodes like this, based off a couple episodes, FC Cincinnati caught wind of one of their players, Fatai, speak about the racial slurs that he was getting still in his comments. They donated $250K to minority charities within their local community. So, you know, it's kind of, you never know what happens when you use your platform and speak up kind of thing. I never really could imagine that's probably still the greatest achievement I've had, to be able to have them donate, you know, $250,000. But yeah, it's impactful. And this is just a quick little preview of me and Brandon here forming this VPA, what happened throughout the whole league within the USL last year during COVID. Had guys kneeling, there was a whole, you know, movement before every single game kind of thing. But, you know, literally based off podcast episodes, based off us having conversations behind the scenes, these things were formed. And it's kind of crazy. I never would imagine 3 years ago just having a simple podcast for what it would lead to. And then lastly, I also created a charity foundation called Footy's Got You. And last year I created some Black Lives Matter shirts with the crown for the Queen City specifically on top of it. But I raised close to $4K last year, was able to do a couple of check donations. Had all these people here locally and nationwide, that people that I knew rocking these shirts. But it was something that was impactful for me. It's my first charity foundation, but to be able to give back. Bottom left corner is the Creative Player Foundation, the soccer-specific foundation here that helps minority kids through the game of soccer, feeding them educational-wise. And last year, to end the year, did a little Christmas drive too. So it's important for me kind of to just use my platform here. It's going on 3 years for me now, and, you know, giving back to something that's needed. So quickly for me, I want to introduce these guys. I'm going to go through their journeys in a sec, but I'm going to go through it real quick for those of you guys who don't know them. This is Marcelo, over here at the bottom far right, on loan from us from Houston Dynamo. Irvin Parra just came from leading striker of the team as well, actually. My man Noah came through from Hartford. B is introduced already, starting goalkeeper, here for Independence. Jake, my man from Jersey, University of Maryland, is here as well. Enzo Martinez, the captain of the team, is here. But I'm going to give them each a sec to talk about, you know, basically how they got here, their journeys, and kind of their experiences.
Yep. Hello, my name is Enzo Martinez. So I come from Uruguay, South America. I moved here when I was 10 years old. Started my journey in Rock Hill, which is about 30 minutes from here. Grew up, played college in North Carolina, then got drafted from there, and year by year kind of moved around and finally found a home here in Charlotte.
What's up, everyone? Jake Armin. As Hugh was saying, played in college for my first 2 years at University of Maryland back in 2014-15. Ended up transferring out to Monmouth University, a smaller school in New Jersey. And in 2018, got the opportunity to come out here on trial, and it went very well. So ended up here, and I've been here for the past 3 seasons now. This is my 4th. and very lucky to find a good home here with a great group of guys and a quality squad this year that can hopefully push for a USL championship.
Jake. Brandon Miller, local product, grew up in Charlotte, played high school in Charlotte, played college locally or pretty close by in Wilmington. 10th year in the USL now, so pretty much a vet now. I guess I can say old guy on the team now, but no, it's been a journey with a few different clubs, but it's good to be home in Charlotte. And like you said, over the past year, we've done a lot of work together to be more impactful off the field. So I think that's probably the biggest thing to me right now is just being able to be a better leader on and off the field. But yeah, it's been good to be home and be in front of family and friends and a lot of people I know.
Yeah. You can grab that, to be honest.
Sort it out.
All right, what's up? My name's Noah. I'm from California, near San Francisco. Played college soccer at Dartmouth, and then kind of had a rough past couple of years with injuries, couple surgeries, basically out for 2.5 years, but now I'm back and playing again. And thrilled to be here. Loving it so far in Charlotte, local team, having a good time.
What's up, everybody? My name is Irvin Parra. Come from LA. I basically like to just win and score goals and have a good time. How you guys doing? I'm Marcelo Palomino. I was born and raised in Houston, Texas, and I'm on loan from Houston Dynamo. I joined the academy when, like 10 years ago, when Brandon made his debut. So, I'm on the younger side of the team, but I'm glad to be here, and Hugh's doing a good thing. So.
Appreciate you, my guy.
Sir.
A couple questions for you guys. So, what's your game day like? What's your game day routines?
This is my second year, so I'm gonna leave it to the second year, playing pro, so I'm gonna leave it to someone who's been doing it for long.
What's that game doing?
Game day like for me? I mean, of course, you gotta shower, right? So, take a shower. I honestly pray for my teammates, for all of us, so we can go out to the field and get the 3 points and finish the game with no injuries, stay healthy. That's primarily for me. But honestly, have a great meal, have a great breakfast, good lunch. I gotta stay active, gotta walk around, stay, be on my feet, can't be laying down all the time. Yeah, we'll pass it over to Brandon Miller.
You want to hop in there?
That's cool.
Okay. I'm pretty much the same. I've had a lot of game days over the years. No, for me, it's just relaxing. Making sure I don't get too uptight. I'm not nervous or anything. So I just, like Irvin said, staying active, go out for a little walk, get a good breakfast in, get a good lunch in. Maybe watch some TV, get some work done. Just keep my mind kind of off the game as much as possible. So then, when I do have to start focusing on the game, I can really lock in. I think we should hear what Zoe has to say, though.
Yeah, for me, for game days, I think I just try to make the day the same as every day, not put any more importance, because I agree with what Brendan says, if you kind of think about the game really early on, you wear yourself down. So to me, just try to do what I do every single day. And then once it's game time, once you get on that bus or you start driving to the stadium, that's when your mind just switches and it's a whole different animal.
Yeah, I think pretty similar to the other guys here, just trying to stay relaxed on game day, having a good breakfast, a nice cup of coffee in the morning, going for a walk early on, and kind of keeping your mind free, and then, like they said, as you get closer to the game, sort of lock in, and everyone's got their pregame music playlist, and there's stuff that they do to get focused. And, yeah.
What's it been like for you guys last year and this year playing through COVID? I know we've had a whole bunch of protocols, vaccinations, some strict rules on the road kind of thing. Tell us, what's it like for us going through COVID, the COVID season? Because we didn't bubble last year at all either, as the rest of the leagues did, NBA, MLS kind of thing. So we had a whole different scenario.
Last year was my rookie year, so I was a little worried that the rest of my career was gonna be weird, like my first year. But nah, I mean, I have nothing to compare it to really, so I'm gonna let these guys answer this one again.
Go sit over there.
I think the main difference for me was like just not being able to go out on the road and kind of explore the different cities that we go to. I think that's one of the big perks of being a professional soccer player is going to so many different cities and seeing all the different cultures and experiencing things like that. That's one of the big perks of being able to travel all the time. But I mean, on the field, it was different just not having fans in the stadium. I mean, we all know that, like the energy that fans bring, the environment that really gets you amped up for games. It was totally different. It's kind of like playing an MLS2 team every single game. But those are the main differences for me. What do you got, Noah?
I mean, I didn't play all last year.
My bad.
For me, during COVID, it was a practice sessions. It was only like 4 players at a time, to be able to practice. So it was pretty weird, just practicing with only 4 players, and I had to adjust to that.
How's this season been going so far? Yeah, we're 2-1 right now. I believe we're like 3rd overall on the Atlantic Coast. Just won the past 2 games. Lost the first one in Tampa. Won the past 2 against Pittsburgh and Charleston Battery. What's it like this year for you guys in terms of competition? Last year what we did was like a group situation where 4 teams were in a group on different sides of the coast. You really only play those 4 teams 4 different times. You might play 2 other teams outside of your little group, but it's really because of COVID, you stay within your bubble kind of thing. But now we're opened up a little more. We're going all the way up to Hartford, Connecticut, going all the way down to Miami kind of thing. What's this year been like? I mean, I know it's just started, but what's this year been like in terms of competition that you guys see?
Well, we're not playing Birmingham 8 times, which is good. But I think it's disappointing from the fact that we don't get to play everyone in the East. I do miss that, being able to kind of spread those games out and see a lot of different teams. But competition-wise, I think it's getting closer to what it used to be. Having some fans in the stands, creating those environments again. Protocols aside, we're still training at a high level every single day. So I think things are getting closer. But as far as this season, I think this season's been. I mean, for us, I think it's been a good start, a great response to obviously a 4 start in Tampa. But I think for us, I think it's been good building blocks so far.
All right, keep getting passed off to me on questions I'm probably not qualified to answer. I mean, this is pretty much, for me, my first year playing, so I'm loving it. I haven't really felt a difference compared to anything before. Like, we're still traveling, playing teams, seeing new places, which is great. I've never been to Florida before. Absolutely love it. Thrilled to go check out other places.
Talk to us about some of the struggles of being a pro. Everyone loves the glitter and glamorous lifestyle. They think we got big paychecks and they think we live this lavish life. But it's a whole grind, especially being in the 2nd division in comparison to the major league. Talk about some of the struggles that you might have endured through your careers, just getting to this point, and just the struggles in general of being a pro athlete.
Honestly, is being away from family. I mean, I am married. I have 3 kids. And being away from my own family is pretty tough. But at the end of the day, I have to do a job, and I have to be here with my teammates. I have to fight with them. I have to go through all the struggles. But at the end of the day, it is a sacrifice, And when you sacrifice a lot of things, things come good in return. So that's the only thing that I've struggled for the past, couple years, being away from my family. I have to do it for them, and I have to do it for everybody around me that actually believes in me and trusts in me, and gives me the confidence. And that's basically my primary sacrifice that I do on the daily basis.
Yeah, I mean, I piggyback off that. I think as a pro athlete, our season typically, 2020, well, we get 2020, we started early February, and typically wouldn't end until late October, early November. Like we're pretty much tied up for 9-10 months out of the year. You miss a lot of things. You miss a lot of events, weddings, birthdays, family trips, things like that. But it's a sacrifice, like Irvin said, because we get to do what we love for a living, and you really enjoy it. So there's positives and negatives, but for me, the positives outweigh any negatives. We have welcome to Brant Bronico. Should we hear from him right now? I think. Can we get a little introduction?
Yeah.
Let's get a little introduction.
Yeah.
What's up, everybody? I'm Brant Bronico. New player for Charlotte FC on loan to Charlotte Independence, and I have the privilege of playing with these great young and, well, in Brandon's case, old men right here. Looking forward to it.
Tell us a little about how you got here in
Yeah, I mean, I just grew up, normal kid. Parents signed me up for a bunch of sports, and I ended up liking soccer the best. And I mean, there's obviously a lot of ups and downs throughout your entire career. I was blessed to go to UNC Charlotte, played there for 4 years, got drafted to the Chicago Fire in the 3rd round, played there for 4 years, and made my way back to Charlotte. And like I said, now I have the privilege to play with these guys right here.
Where did you play the back nine today?
Some country.
What did you shoot?
Over 100.
Talking right now, there was some of the struggle in being a pro athlete, or either your personal experience with you and never navigate here, or just like being struggle with being a pro athlete in general.
You just can't play golf early in the morning.
Actually, I haven't played golf in 3 years.
That Polo says otherwise.
Was Brandon tackling that?
No, it's on you. It's on you.
Okay.
It's on you.
I mean, I think there's a lot of things. Obviously, we're blessed to play the game that we love at the next level. It's definitely something that I don't take for granted, and I will never take for granted. But there are hardships with it, just with like everything. I mean, I think the number one thing for me is like balance. Trying to leave, I guess, the bad days at practice, like not really bringing your work home. I think that's the toughest thing for me, especially, if you didn't think you had a good practice, or you maybe lost like a small-sided game, and it just like nags at you for the rest of the day. I'm sure all these guys feel the same way about that. And like finding times just to like step away from the game, whether it's for 30 minutes or an hour, and focus on whatever you want to do, whether that's like meditating or reading or some kind of hobby that you're interested in. I think that's important to do, going back to what I was talking about with balance. And then obviously, consistently performing and wanting to make those that love you, that are around you, proud all the time. And I feel like when you are at the next level and everybody looking from the outside in, they think everything is great. They might check your Instagram or your Twitter, and it's just a highlight reel. It's not like there's like so many things that go on behind the scenes that people struggle with, or can't quite get right and whatnot. But yeah, like I said, just kind of finding balance and really just kind of loving and believing in yourself enough to where you can kind of create your own identity and not putting your complete identity in the game.
Very well put, Grant. I'm just going to go briefly on this because we already spent a lot of time on this question, but what Grant said about having stuff aside from football to focus on is so huge because as somebody who's had 2 surgeries and been forced to take pretty much 2 years out of the game, not having something else to focus on and keep your mind off of it is absolutely terrible. If you're just hurt and all you can think about is, I want to come back to the game, what else do I do with my life, what else do I focus on? You need other stuff to think about. You need other stuff to go home and decompress from your day with. So that's been one of the biggest learning curves for me as a pro so far, is going home, getting myself to not think about training, getting myself to be a more well-rounded person and not just a soccer player. And that was something that took me a while to learn. 2 surgeries basically. So.
Yeah, those are great points too. And I mean, even here in the USL, people don't realize sometimes, especially back in the thousands. I first signed in 2014, and I knew a bunch of players, a bunch of very good quality players that were on like pay-to-play contracts, meaning they're not on salary, they're only getting paid when they play in a game. Maybe if they make the bench, they're getting, a couple bucks, but they used to do things in the USL where, to help the club financially, you're on a pay-to-play system. And the only time you're getting paid is if, you're playing these games. So guys had no consistency, had to find other jobs kind of thing, like, everything that glitters isn't gold kind of thing. I know we've all heard that as well too, so just putting that into perspective too. Some of y'all, I have a question for you guys. What do you guys think is harder? Earning your first pro contract or earning new contracts every year and retaining your pro status?
I'm waiting to answer your question.
Wait, what was the question?
Sorry, what was the question again?
Earning your first pro contract or re-signing every year and retaining your pro status?
Earning my first contract, for sure.
Why's that?
I mean, 1, the money, of course, and 2 is just I was in a better atmosphere. I mean, honestly, I was in Bundesliga, and to come from Bundesliga to second division in America, I mean, it's such a big difference. I mean, no offense to American soccer or anything like that, but I was 6 years and a half in overseas in Germany. I was playing for Kaiserslautern in second division, and that's basically my first pro contract. I was 17 years old, and I'd never seen that type of money before in my life. I come from the slums of LA, basically. I come from Inglewood. It's a little small town out in the outskirts of LA, and for a young athlete to be receiving that sorts of money it was just a dream come true kind of thing. You know what I mean? So for me, it's like I rather receive my first pro contract than keep signing contracts. You know what I mean? But that's just me. I'll pass it over to whoever wants to talk.
Yeah, I think they're both tough. Obviously, it's tough to find that first one, but I think the consistency that you have to show over years is tough as well. Like doing well for 1 year is good, but being able to re-sign and find a second contract and find a third contract, I think that there's something that's underrated there. Right? The consistency to perform over 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. You can't diminish the importance of that because it's not easy. It's not easy to be a consistent player at any level, whether it's USL, whether it's MLS, whether it's international, because it just the game ebbs and flows. Your performance tends to ebb and flow, and like the mental aspect of it. Can you grind through it? 8-9 month season and consistently show up day in and day out. That's tough. And to do that consistently over years, I think that is something that I put more value in than finding that person.
To piggyback off what Brandon's saying, I would definitely say earning my first contract was one of the hardest things I've done. Also one of the proudest moments of my life, getting that call on that day, knowing that, all right, this is the time I'm gonna fulfill my dream and move forward with it. And I feel like I've made a good example out of myself, and I try to come in every day, work hard, and improve as much as I can, just to continue doing what I love. And I'm on my second contract right now, and I've been fortunate enough to be surrounded by a great group of people, not only soccer players, but a great locker room. And like Brendan's saying, it's not a one-day thing. You take it one day at a time, but it's a culmination of years of hard work and just that grind that you can keep your head down and just keep working, whether it's in the gym, on the field, on yourself off the field. There's so many components to it, and we are very fortunate to do what we love. We definitely don't take it for granted.
Yeah, and I have to completely agree with that too. I mean, with both statements, honestly, it was very tough for me to get my first contract as well. I cut multiple times, but kind of to retain your status each and every year, it kind of means you have to ball out every single season and earn a new contract, especially bouncing from different clubs and everyone's watching you too. To come in every single day of practice, to every single day in a game, to mentally concentrate, to literally ball out so you can earn another contract within that same club or another club. It's tough every time. It's a mental battle too. So, lastly, for me, everyone here either been in the MLS side or MLS camp. Not everyone, but a majority of us here have been there. What's kind of the difference between the MLS level and USL level?
For me, last year was my rookie year, so I did get a taste of what the MLS level was like. And for me, honestly, it's in my position that I'm in, being 19 and being one of the youngest on Dynamo and here. I just turned 20, right? Last weekend. Being one of the youngest at Dynamo, at Houston, and here at Charlotte, it's about earning my position and then when I do, trying to keep it, do my best to keep it. And so it's a lot of hard work, and I know it's same, there as it is here. There's a lot of competition and a lot of good players in every position. So I think the level's high both. I think the only thing for me that separates the two leagues is that the MLS, they're just a tad bit sharper and quicker, and they can really punish you off some of the mistakes you make, and it happens here as well too. So I mean, the biggest thing for me is just that sharpness.
Yeah, for me, I got to kind of spend some years in both, but it's just a competition every day, You have guys who are fighting really, really hard every single day. And then maybe, and then USL squad, maybe you have 10% of the team that doesn't really believe, because, it's not easy to be in a second division team and have to make your way up to become a starter, and then from there move yourself up to the MLS, right? That's very difficult to do, and I'm sure you see it in every team where you have a small percentage of the squad that they don't have that belief or that desire. And I think when you're in an MLS team, all the players know that and they feel that, and when they go out there, they compete every single day because they want to be in the first 11.
I wanted to lastly open it up for the fans out there for a Q&A. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask any of us. We're all ears.
I wanted to add on to the MLS and the USL. My personal opinion is the fact that there's different budget and there's a lot of politics into it. Me personally, that's just the way I've. I was in Seattle Sounders, and of course they're always going to play, a Jordan Moore in sports, or a Ken Dempsey, other than, someone coming from the youth or whatever, because there was a lot of youth talent, homegrown talent from Seattle Sounders. I'm not specifically talking about myself, because this doesn't really matter, but I just think that it's always just the budget thing compared to the USL, and it's just politics in play.
Good points, everyone. I appreciate you for that. Any questions out there for any of us? Don't be shy. We're all ears.
I have a follow-up question. So as our Cali boy, no one see it. that, there's more things to look forward to outside of just soccer after training games. So what else do you guys do outside of soccer? Like, what do you guys do as like hobbies? Like, what's more to your life? You don't want to just center it around just you yourself and soccer.
This. I mean, I'm a young guy. I'm still kind of figuring out what that is, but for example, some of the older guys like Brandon and Hugh have done a great job at building their brands, figuring out what they want to do, starting businesses, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm gonna pass that off to them.
Thank you.
No, I mean, for me personally, I feel like I do a lot off the field, simply because I just want to be involved. I want to have a greater impact, but I think it's, and also kind of create an example for younger players. I think player development is one of the things that I'm really big on, and guys realizing that while they're soccer players and that should be their main job, they have the ability to do things off the field, and expand their other interests that they can make money from and they can be impactful from. So like for me, I have a business, I run a few different nonprofits, like those are things that I'm passionate about. And so I just realized that this could end tomorrow. And so what am I going to do besides this? And I think it was Zoe who said it earlier. It's like you can't have your identity wrapped up in being a professional soccer player, because if it's taken away from you, which it can happen tomorrow. Like, what are you going to do? So I want to be able to explore my interests and really expand the things that I do off the field, so that I'm prepared for when inevitably I'm going to have to retire. These 20 years down the line, hopefully when I'm 55, 60 years old. But at some point you have to prepare yourself for that, and you have to gradually start to explore those other interests, because those are the things that you're going to do once you step off the field.
Completely agree with that. Just to piggyback off that too, yes, I have back here Footy, my brand, also did some coaching out here too, but Brandon kind of hit it in the nail. It's kind of seeing yourself and viewing yourself as more than an athlete. I know you guys have heard that other around sports realm and stuff too, but we're more than just what you see on the soccer field. That's why I also do this, get you guys to know us on a more personal level. Yes, we're human beings just like you guys. We provide some entertainment for you guys too, but doing things besides kicking a soccer ball is very important for the younger generation to see that, because everyone's so focused on your craft, focused on being a pro, focused on all those things, which is great too, but as Brandon said, it can end tomorrow. So who are you outside of that kind of thing? It's what motivates me to do this, what motivates me to coach and make a difference within the youth realm, and motivates me to make a difference in general.
Coming here straight out of college is, I know we have a few players that came to the USL straight out of school, and it's a big adjustment to try and learn how to manage your time off the field. My first couple years here, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to be doing off the field, and still kind of figuring it out. But having a group of guys, Hugh and Brandon, being such impactful people off the field has really been something that we can follow. And for the younger guys, it's been a great example, and I've seen it firsthand, day in, day out. They come into practice and they keep their heads down and work, and off the field, we're done with practice by 12, 1 o'clock, whether we got the gym before and then come to practice, or we're just going straight to practice. But they're on their phones right away. They're working hard, and it shows off the field. They've made such an impact in the community, in the Charlotte community, and it's really just been a great couple guys to look up to, and we're very proud.
Any other questions from you guys? Nate, you look like you got one for us. What's up?
No, I got nothing for you guys. You guys are rolling.
I have a question again. How do you guys feel about the game coming up this coming weekend? Feel confident?
Of course.
Always feel confident. Yeah. I'll be honest. I feel more confident in our squad.
5-0.
I'm not gonna say 5-0 because I don't want to disrespect our opponent like that, but I feel like we have the capability and the quality in our squad to to compete with any team in the USL. I think that we should feel that way. I think the individual talent that we have, top to bottom, is one of the best in the league, whether other people see it or not. And I mean, it doesn't matter if other people see it. It's about us being confident in ourselves. And I'm confident in myself. I'm confident in everyone that's sitting here. I'm confident in everyone that comes out to the practice field because I see what we do every single day. So as far as this weekend, I'm excited to go to Miami and compete against a team that has a lot of talent as well. But that's not something I fear. I remember when I played in 2015, and we were one of the best teams. We were the best team in the league. We only lost one game that year, and I remember at a certain point, I never walked into a game and felt like we were going to lose. It just wasn't a thought. And it's kind of getting to that point here where I feel really confident in everyone that steps on that field, and I know that we're going to perform. And so if we do that, it's just not really a team that's going to best us on a consistent basis. So that's kind of where I'm getting to, and I feel great about that because I know that once you get to that point, and once everybody else starts to get to that point, then we realize like we're a team that can compete for a championship, and that's ultimately what we're here for. So to answer your question, Jeff, I feel confident about this weekend.
On that same wave too.
Hugh, I've got a question for you. So your guys' stadium is moving obviously from the Sportsplex and Matthews up to the new Memorial Stadium. How excited are you guys about the new venue, and how do you think that's going to impact your fan base and expand it moving forward?
Yeah, I think coming from Matthews, which is kind of 20 minutes outside Uptown, to now moving to Uptown has been needed for a long time. Just to have the public transportation, us millennials being able to walk to the game is very impactful. I think it's kind of hurt the independence over the years. Just from my opinion, I've come from other clubs and seen that attendance-wise, it's been always good, but the American Legion Stadium is much bigger. I think it holds like 20K almost. Might not be full capacity from the jump, but it holds a lot more fans. So I think in terms of
I think it's 10.
I thought I read something. Maybe 15. On a good day, July, full capacity 15. But I think it's much needed though. I think I'm excited. We're all excited. The only little downfall is that it's turf. It's gonna be hot out here, and that might hurt us a little. But I'm very excited. It's about time to move to Uptown and just have more accessibility to the game that's been needed.
And I would say, just from being a hometown kid, it's nice to be able to kind of showcase Charlotte. I think this stadium will do that. Showing the beautiful skyline. That's one thing that's pretty special to me. Is even when I drive home, from whether it's from practice, whether it's just driving on 77, it's being able to see the skyline and knowing like this is where I grew up. This is the city that raised me, and this is something I'm proud of. And so moving into that stadium and being able to play, hopefully stand in goal and see that skyline and know what it represents to me. I think it's something different for me. So I'll have a special feeling about that as well. You guys feel a certain way about it. Urban doesn't really care.
I feel like we're just about to win the championship.
That's right. We're just about to win the championship trophy. That's all that matters.
Urban, they so we talk about practice.
Anybody else?
I got a question for Jake, and I feel like you touched base on this at the surface level in some ways, but how has it been for you to be a part of the independence and to get to the point, I'm beating around the bush, how has it been for you as a white person to be surrounded by Brandon and Hugh and see their example in the community? How has that been for you as a player, as a person off the field? Has that impacted your life, and how has that maybe shifted your view on how you see things?
Yeah, I think last year was very eye-opening, not just from these two, but the whole movement itself. Obviously, it was a crazy year, just in a world standpoint with COVID and with that going on, but to tackle the whole Black Lives Matter movement, it's been very, I don't want to say cool, but it's been very good to be a part of. I feel like I haven't been able to be as impactful as I'd like to be yet, but I'm open to what Hugh and Brandon have been doing, and just for me to be able to see how they're impacting the community in a day-to-day basis, and their charitable ways have been really awesome. It's hopefully something that the league continues to focus on and improve for the community, for the teams, for better ways forward. But yeah.
Thank you.
I mean, I would add to that a little bit. Obviously, I'm not a white man and dealing with this, but I think that from Hugh and I's point of view, I think the biggest thing from our teammates has been just simply being there. Showing up, just like an event like this, just being here, and showing your support for what we're doing. And I look back to the video that we shot. I think it was like early May. Just kind of trying to show solidarity within our team and kind of trying to push the league forward. Having guys show up to that, and like they didn't have to do that. That was on a random Tuesday morning where we didn't have training. At that point, we weren't. I don't even know if we were training, but guys showing up, willing to be a part of that. And it doesn't always have to be like every player being vocal about it, and because I'm going to be vocal enough for it, like for everyone. Right? Me and you are going to lead the charge, but having that support behind us, I think, is key. And so, literally, just showing up and being there, I think that's the big thing that we've seen from our teammates and from other people, fans, supporters groups around the league. I think that's the biggest thing. Is just having that support kind of charges us up to continue to do what we're doing.
That goes a long way. We would not be here if it wasn't for the support of our teammates either. Yes, we would have spoke up in general too, but if their teammates don't support you, things would have kind of hit the fan for us last year. We probably wouldn't have finished in first place. It probably wouldn't have had good chemistry. I mean, this was all last year. You see the whole team raising fists, rocking the shirts. Guys coming up to practice still today, rocking these same Black Lives Matter shirts whenever they want to, just supporting and being all for it. And even these guys just show up here tonight, it speaks to the camaraderie that we have, because I really just put it in the group chat and was like, whoever can make it kind of thing. And all my guys showed up here last minute kind of thing for me, and it just speaks to also our unity and our strength this season as a team, but piggybacking off last year, that same unity and momentum is carried through, and it speaks volumes up too. And I think that's why we're having some success now early, because we're all here together and we're doing these things. Question? You feel like you found it? All right.
Rebecca, you got something back there? No.
I think the people outside.
Yeah, kind of piggybacking off that is you guys just were exposed to Boomba football, like with your Beautiful Struggles campaign, jerseys with the USL. That's 4.2 million, following on Instagram, and then USL is over 100K. Is you guys sitting right there, like you guys were ahead of that? What kind of conversations? What's kind of been the coolest conversations that you guys have had? I guess that opens up for all of you as well. Just some of the conversations that you guys have had across the league that maybe be eye-opening, or just cool to hear that people are actually listening and taking that seriously.
I mean, honestly, I think it was the response to the jerseys. I remember we dropped the jersey on I think it was a Thursday at 2:00, and I had a meeting at 2:00. So I was literally sitting in my car, getting stuff ready at 1:58, and I went into that meeting, and I came out of the meeting at 3:00, and I had 50 text messages talking about hey, how to get this jersey. And text messages from the league, hey, it's sold out, well done, guys. And I didn't realize the response and the support that we were going to get from that. And so, moving, I guess we kind of underestimated ourselves with that, just because I didn't know there was a support there that there is, and it's much appreciated. This is grassroots. We started this. We literally started this from Hugh's podcast. Hugh, I remember having this conversation with you where we were literally just like, we gotta bring this together. And it kind of just built from there. I remember struggling in August, like to get guys involved and like, how do we do this? How do we have this conversation with the league? How do we have this conversation with different teams? To see where we are, now in March, dropping that jersey and having that sell out in, a couple hours. It was definitely humbling and it was exciting, and realizing that we can have a greater impact. I know we recently spoke with Puma and they were like, yeah, we want to get some of the national team players like Yunus Musa was interested in being involved with it and wanted to get one of the jerseys, and they're talking about getting other athletes and other sports involved, and something like that is definitely exciting because it's not really something we've done before. It's not really something as an individual or as a group that we've been able to reach a wider platform like that. It's the USL, the second division league. We don't have that massive reach that larger leagues have, but to be able to get connected with Puma, to get connected with larger athletes who are playing at the international level and overseas, it's definitely been exciting, and it's been a new realm that I'm excited to be in.
And he kind of touched on it for me too. The support kind of blew my mind worldwide almost too, just because Puma's a worldwide brand. But I think one of the coolest aspects for me was just being continuous talks with the president and vice president, text message conversation. I could text them right now and they all respond kind of thing. They gave me and Brandon the keys last year to do almost anything we wanted, from the movement to voiceovers on game days to what we wanted to do. This whole movement stopping at 7 minutes, kneeling, coming together at center circle. That was all me and B having talked with the vice president and president, and they just gave us the keys to like, what do you guys want to do? Okay, 7 minutes. Make sure we're all unified across this whole league. Make sure the television broadcasting is showing it this at X amount of time, doing X, Y, and Z, and they're just all for it and supportive. I don't think it would have gone as smoothly if the league wasn't supportive. Yes, we would have, got on them and created some backlash, but to have the support, it kind of even just blew my mind, because being in the USL, I would have never really fully imagined all that too. So it's a great humbling experience and something that we're definitely going to piggyback on for years to come.
I have one last question. Footy for culture. I like those.
Hey, I invested my money in it too.
Exactly. Where can we get the t-shirts?
Yeah, so on your tables, y'all should have some business cards. Backyardfooty.org. I was going to mention that after. I appreciate you. But backyardfooty.org is a merch tab. Get your merch. Got a whole new shipment coming in tomorrow. More coming due next week as well. So yeah, we personally deliver for me. I'm really just selling out my car kind of thing too. I don't have my own shop yet, but we're gonna have a shop soon and make that all official. But yeah, just hit that link on my website and I got you guys. I appreciate the support. They have 3 logos here. Just the logo has Footy for the Culture on the back. Jake, as you see here, the gray one, BYF, also has the logo on the left sleeve. And Brandon, Cello, wearing the Footy for the Culture with the Backyard Footy logo on the left sleeve as well. So definitely gonna be more t-shirts and apparel coming through this summer and the winter. Some sweatshirts and joggers and all those kind of things too. But definitely support the cause. Some of the proceeds goes to my charity foundation as well too. So any support would be much appreciated. Thank you for that. Any last questions before we wrap up? Yeah, so I thank you guys so much for coming through. Hoping to do this again sometime later throughout this season. Get some more people out here. Like I said too, follow us on the back of the card. Has all the social accounts too. Follow Backyard Footy and all the social media accounts. Follow these dudes. Come out to a game. We'll be at the Sportsplex for our home opener next Saturday. But come out to a game in general, even here at the American Legion Stadium. Support us. You all know us now, so come say what's up. And hello. I appreciate you guys right here. My family coming through. Mad love for that. Appreciate you guys for coming through. Loyal supporters as well too. It means a lot to see some faces and recognizable faces that I know here too as well. So again, thank you. It's my 3rd year anniversary. It's a great one, probably the best one I've had yet. Look forward to more to come. Appreciate you guys.
Much love, man. Appreciate you.